So here we got some of the backroom shenanigans I was expecting. Problem with this that I've always seen from the beginning was that this tab was going to really look horrible. And what I've decided to do is cut it off. Same with this side as well. There'd be a lot of gouging. I mean, this is already sliced in, but it's not perfectly squared, so I did have this fitting at one point, but I'm sure getting rid of some enamel will help out a lot. But what I am more likely to do is put these two wall struts in here and then slot this in without these tabs. There wouldn't be too much filling to do here at all, if any. It's dark enough that I should be able to leave it. Only this, let's flip this over here. Only this area here needs to be 1706. I get to leave a dark stripe there. So I'm going to slice those tabs off. I was also going to cut a bunch of this floor. I may as well outline it now. But technically this piece of plastic should curve, so really the only excess floor here is that. And a little over here. So I can take the Dremel to these spaces, and actually let's check this side over here. Maybe I'll get rid of this wedge. So as I mentioned, the back wall that's going to get slid in here is basically going to go in this area. I was going to print out the entire back wall, but I think I'm going to spray paint a piece of styrene wall, which I forgot to do on this last round, I guess. I imagine these LEDs are still working. I'll either leave them or replace them. There's a nice little housing there, but a light will be needed on this side. I think I've got that laying around. A couple fiber optics, I think, go here maybe, and definitely 8 fiber optics there, which will go out this window here. Watching the show, there's this panel, but they actually move this around, so if you watch a few of them, it's at different angles. There's one where John Robinson exits, he walks around, and then Will Robinson sneaks out a little area, basically right here. So they moved this flat backwards, and if you watch different shows, you can see where they moved it to. There is a light source up here pointing back on the wall. This area is actually dark, but we'll see how it looks with the light here. But I've got all the wall pieces test fit. I got to do the struts now, and since I'm here, I may as well do these couple right now. That's a decent fit as is. What I've noticed is that a lot of these parts are going to have to be held down as tight as possible, which means one at a time gluing very, very slowly. So there's a few generic ones of these, so we'll just see if it generically fits all of them so I don't have to unbag the others. Though I will have to unbag a couple of the special ones. Nice tight fit so far. Now I got 2 other special ones to do. So here's the exit door. Let's fill this up. Oh, so sorry I didn't get any of that. Just smeared it down. Well, no, not even quite that. So if none of that got shot, what I did was to simply open the cap. There was enough sitting right at the edge there. Smeared it down, pushed it in a little, and then just squeegeed for a little while with this. I'm going to leave the mask down until it's ready to paint, and then I'm just going to brush a little of this dark brown over it and call it done. I don't want to leave this tape down on the finish for very long at all if I can avoid it. I expect it may need 2 coats to fill. This first one will probably have a bit of a dip in the top. So one last pass with just a tiny little bit to make sure it's all good. And this finish that turned out isn't all that great. Alright, so I'm just gonna slather some brown on here and call this done. It's gonna, well, let's face it, I'll probably put, so the battery died just as I slathered on that bit of brown. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to spray a little of this matte clear into the top of a lid, such as this, and brush on just a little bit of sealer, just to help match the color. There we go. And while we're at it, let's pull this off. Not quite the result I thought, but we can work with it. This will need to be sanded down just ever so slightly and very carefully. It looks like a piece of tape is stuck on there right now. And it's better than having a hole there. That is certain. Very nice. This chisel blade was just perfect. And the Bondo not too dry. We'll try painting this again, only this time freehand. I don't want to proceed too fast here, but I think this is the first piece that's about to be glued down to the floor right now, live. Well, sort of live. It's live for me. I want to get myself a fresh bottle of glue for this. And I've tried clamping this with a few different clamps I have. They're either too small but strong enough, or they're too large and too strong, or they just don't fit whatsoever. But after a couple tests, I realized the best way to do this was to simply hold it in place for as long as I can possibly stand. So with that in mind, I was strongly debating whether to put glue in those two holes there or not. If I didn't, then this would be much easier to pull off if I ever had to. But having just done it, they are on there for good. So I am going to sit like this for several minutes. So what I'm going to be doing with this piece is I'm going to leave this on alone for the moment. And what I'll be doing is test fitting the fiber optics for the top control panels to see how long a length I generally need to cut. From there, I'll chop up a pile of fiber optics, and I'm talking over 100 threads per control panel. So this is going to be like 300 to 400 individually cut threads, all going into a few different tubes at the bottom, as many as those takes. Each one will be set to a different blink rate, hopefully on a different sequencer to keep them out of time with each other. I fully expect that as this floor warps, I pointed out how there's a bit of a gap on this side. As soon as the floor starts warping again, this corner is going to pull up. What I'm going to do is, on the inside of the plastic here, is put some super glue gel all around the inner edges. Once that cures, I can paint all that black, so that will act as my light blocker and help to secure the piece to the floor. Actually, maybe I should just go with regular model glue, because that will melt everything in there and will be the stronger option. Now with this piece on, from here on out, I have to be very careful not to damage the floor, discolor it, or do anything else that is going to cause me a problem. It's already pulling up just a little, so I'll keep pinching this for a while. This might work. I don't think I have any weights that I could safely put on here. I don't know if these two side panels are supposed to be quite so sunken, but I think I like the look. So once all the individual threads are cut, I'll thread them through here generically, seal them with white glue, close this panel up, thread all that in through here, and then into the various holes. It's going to be significant effort. Now in securing this corner kind of pulled away. That one's been sitting for probably close to an hour, and I think that's pretty well secured at this point. If I could find the other clamp I have like this one, I'd put that on the other side simultaneously, but I don't seem to see it anywhere, except for right in front of me. There we go. So I'm going to let these two sit for a long while. Actually, while I'm at it, I may as well drop a little more glue along some of the other seams here, just to help make them stay secure as well. So what I'm realizing about this here is that while I'm going to leave only this control panel on now to do some initial fiber optic guessing, so I'm going to have to put all the walls on at the same time, so that way when I flip it upside down, it will all be level and I can work on the bottom as easily as I can on the top. If I have any styrofoam layers around, I might just create a base for this by digging out some areas so it's supported flat rather than being crooked like this. So a while ago I said that once I actually glued a part down, that would be the beginning of FlightLog 25. What I think is more likely is that once I get all the walls down, that will be the conclusion of 24, and 25 will start fresh from there.